Hi everyone, I'm back with another incredible story, a biography, a true story about Harriet Tubman. This biography is called Young Harriet Tubman, Freedom Fighter. The author is Anne Benjamin and the illustrations are by Ellen Beyer. Harriet Ross Tubman was born a slave, but she spent her whole life fighting for freedom. There are no slaves in America now, but when Harriet was born around 1820, slaves worked on big southern farms called plantations. They worked in the hot sun from dawn to dusk. It was hard, terrible work. Dawn to dusk means when the sun first comes up till when the sun goes down. In the summer, that's a long day. Harriet and her family belonged to a farmer named Edward Brodess. They lived in a one-room shack on his land. It had no windows or furniture. Harriet and her family slept on rags on the dirt floor. They didn't have any beds, and it was a dirt floor. That couldn't be very comfortable. Harriet was only 3 when she started working. Even though she was just a little girl, she had to carry messages many miles for Mr. Brodess. She was also hired out to work for other families. Sometimes they were very cruel to her. When she was 9 years old, Harriet cleaned houses and took care of babies. It was hard work for a little girl. But Harriet did not complain. She did not want Mr. Brodess to sell her to another master. 2 of her sisters had been sold already, so she didn't get to see them. After dark, the slaves got together to talk about freedom. They told stories about Moses, the man who led his people out of slavery. And they spoke about the Underground Railroad, which took slaves to freedom in the North. The Underground Railroad was not really a train. It was a group of people, both blacks and whites, who felt slavery was wrong. Some people hid slaves in their homes. Others led slaves from one station or house to the next. So they were helping each other. Harriet loved to listen to these stories. One day she promised herself she would take the Underground Railroad to freedom. But Harriet almost didn't get her chance. At the age of 15, she was in a store when a slave and his master ran in. The master told his slave to get back to work. The slave refused. His master was so angry. He threw a heavy iron weight at him, but the weight hit Harriet in the head instead. Oh no, look, Harriet's very hurt. Harriet was sick for many months. She almost died. She had a terrible scar on her forehead for the rest of her life. In time, Harriet went back to work, but now she wanted her freedom more than ever. Finally, in 1849, Harriet heard that Mr. Brodess was going to sell many of his slaves. She knew the time had come to run away. During the day, Harriet hid in people's houses. She knew Mr. Brodess was looking for her. She must have been so frightened and very brave to do this. At night, she walked for miles through the woods to get to the next station on the Underground Railroad. The journey north was long and dangerous, but there were many people to help her along the way. At last, Harriet reached Pennsylvania. There was no slavery there. Harriet was free. Harriet could not forget that her family was still in slavery. She went back and brought them to freedom too. But there were many more people who needed her help. Wow, so even though Harriet was free, that wasn't good enough. She needed to go back and help others. Harriet helped over 300 slaves escape on the Underground Railroad. The slaves called her Moses. They loved this brave woman very much. The slave owners hated her. They offered a $40,000 reward for Harriet's capture. That was a lot of money then. But Harriet was never caught. During the Civil War, Harriet worked as a spy for the Northern Army. She helped many more slaves escape to freedom. Even after slavery ended, Harriet kept on helping people. She spoke out for women's rights. She started schools for Black children and homes for poor Black families. When Harriet died at 93, she was given a military funeral. It was a great honor for the woman who had fought so hard for freedom. And that's the true story of Harriet Tubman. You know, you just might be able to see Harriet Tubman's picture on a $20 bill soon. Won't that be exciting? All right, that's today's inspiring story for Black History Month. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little something and know how important it is to help your fellow human. All right, I'll see you again soon.